Bing bong, bing bong, bing 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 bong, bing bong bong bing bong bong bing bong, bong bing bong bing, bing bong bing bong 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 bing bong, bong 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 bonk 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 bonk.
Alrighty, hello. Welcome to Community Game Night, Friday night.
Yep. At some point in time, Tusky's going to come in, and we are going to go into Toontown Online because she wants to go run 4 cog buildings. But till then, y'all niggas' asses are mine.
Whoa,
Okay.
hey.
Whoa, hold on.
I did not consent. Not that it fucking matters, this man's gonna come after my ass regardless. Especially because I have cheesy garlic bread right next to me.
Oh yeah, that's what bring the niggas in the hood. Cheesy garlic bread. Kayshawn didn't know he was down low, but when he went into J Hood's house, he just smelled the allure of Kelly Gold and sharp cheddar. Hey, yo, nigga, is that sharp cheddar with the chives? Yeah, nigga, with the chives.
Mozzarella, mild, and pepper jack with garlic butter, you know, all that good stuff.
J-Mac then was able to get Kayshawn to come in, and he spread a different kind of bread. Hello.
Well, I was gonna say how was Slay the Spire multiplayer? How many runs did you guys do?
We failed like what? Two runs? One.
We did one. It was, I think you were defect and I was silent. We fucking failed because that fuck ass one. It wasn't even an elite either. That's the worst part. We just got fucking our asses handed to us.
It was like, so this is what we were saying earlier about like a couple of weeks ago with the game. How just the early game feels a little harder than it should be.
Yes. In that instance, even though I had pulled a glass power for the defect, it was the case that the glass power was in my third hand draw, and it was not good because it was 3 enemies, and we took all 50 of those points of damage and couldn't live into the next elite that came after it, and that run immediately died before we even got halfway up.
I do have to ask, did you why am I blanking on it? Did you guys ever play or get the for the defect, did you ever get that one power where it's all your lightning storms hit every enemy?
Thunderstorm.
Thunderstorm.
I haven't gotten it yet. No.
Because I don't know if, like, I know they reworked a little bit of the silent and a little bit of Ironclad, but like, was there any other like changes that you guys know of?
No, none. I went in with absolutely no mind for changes whatsoever. I should read the patch notes to see if anything was done about the cards, but to my knowledge, if the card exists, it's either not been unlocked to get from an epic, or I have been unlucky pulling it.
so weird.
It has to be an uncommon if it's not a rare.
Free Fire 2, Madden, Jazz, and Bolero covers. Oh yeah, like that's...
But yeah, no. After running more runs that were not ironclad based, yes, I can definitely notice the unfair starting difficulty. It is the case that it makes the ironclad the strongest starting class in terms of actual I need to get out of here power. Because mitigating and choosing to burn levels of health from encounter to ensure that you can live the encounter and then restore, it feels like I have to actually hope that most of the question marks before a campfire doesn't automatically turn into an enemy. Like,
yeah, I've noticed like there's a higher chance that they're now enemies rather than events, which I understand that they want to keep it spiced up and all that, but like, bro, I don't want to get encounter after encounter after encounter, because that happened to me like literally 3 times in 2 different runs.
yeah, Juzu Bracelet...
It also makes the silent unnecessarily difficult.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that it makes the Juzu Bracelet unbelievably strong by converting every single question mark room into guaranteed safety. You'd think that'd be a good thing. I feel like it's a bad thing, because if the encounters are so strong that back-to-back encounters have a chance of shaving 30 HP off your health bar from start, there needs to be either a tuning down of the monster's damage or a strengthening up of the baseline opportunity checks for your card pulls. The first fight should be your most deadly fight. Every fight after that depends on whether or not the enemy check is in play. And I feel like enemy checks are supposed to be limited to elites, not to regular encounters. If regular encounters are going to offer more danger in this way, maybe make it a 50% chance that every encounter potentially pulls a potion. 30, 35, 50, whatever number needs to be comfortable, so that you're giving people enough access to enough tools to enable them to stay safe. Otherwise, what are we doing? That doesn't
I
feel
agree.
sane. That doesn't feel sane. Even when I take the correct choice of having a form of multi and having a form of single target, I do find myself actually picking up a lot more colors cards. Dramatic entry with a multi-card should basically equal most opening encounters in a single player run to be a guaranteed wipe when that room opens. There's no fucking way that I should be having an easier time on the Ironclad than I should be having on the Defect. I felt like I couldn't find orb capacity to save my fucking life, and that was the first run that I did with you the other night.
Yep.
I could not, for the life of me, find the orb power, even while I was looking for it actively. I found the orbs, but not the slots. I found the focus, but not a form of focus that I could actually generate off of. And God forsake if I could find another white noise to save my life.
Yeah, I mean, it also could just be that it's like behind an unlock that you have to do something for it, but it just still feels...
It feels bad.
It feels weird because like the classes themselves already have like a distinct play style, and that limiting them through unlocks like this is kind of bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's kind of like it's very much so in the sense of Balatro too, where you just basically you have to ram your head into the wall so much that it kind of becomes this point of like, well, you're just doing this for the account power.
Within reason. It's actually a slightly less difficult there because on the first hand, in the first round, in the first ante, yes, you'll be sometimes slamming your head in, trying to scrounge in points, especially if you haven't found anything viable. But once you've actually found something to begin something on, with whatever wild card joker you choose to take, then it becomes simpler. Because in that game, money actually solves problems. If you find yourself lacking card power, it's because you don't have money. And if you don't have money, it's because you're not making interest saves, and you're also not doing whatever cards are going to give you access to money to get. So it's a lot more different. I do not fucking like the way that they have this is going to be a phrase, that some card games are trying to Bellatrify themselves. And I don't like this because there are some some games like Rogue Jack and Gambonanza that are trying to Bellatrify chess and blackjack. And that only works so much. And then the idea of, I'm going to give you a difficulty route, and because we're in early access, the balance is going to be off, makes it feel like you're trying to yuck my fucking yum. There's a little bit of this inside of Clover Pit, although people dislike Clover Pit for a different reason, and that's because you could recycle until you find exactly the optimal pieces necessary in order to basically go infinite, if one wished to, for the purposes of doing score, finding more and more uniques to fill out the current standing unique trinkets, etc., etc., etc. All the things necessary to get the maximum amount of slots, to get the maximum amount of payouts for your charms, to try to get the necessary effects to make the 999 card save slot turn into, go from 666 to 999 for an angel deal, and then get the true ending of the game, and all the things that go alongside figuring out how to get angel deals. All of that shit, and all the shit that it comes with, unfortunately, is a problem right now with how I feel about Slay the Spire 2 when I'm not playing the Ironclad. Because sometimes you can get there, and the Silent, once it gets access to a form of poison that has enough discard power to actually get through and hold your cards when you have access to retaining, feels amazing. And it feels exactly the way it does in the first game, but better. Because Sly is a much better way of rewarding people when you play it off discard. However, that comes with the caveat that there's a lot of problems with sometimes feeling like the game is just deciding to screw you on your card picks. Because I feel like I'm seeing too many commons and not enough uncommons. And sometimes rarely enough opportunities for rares. And it definitely feels like money is an obstacle. Because if there's a run where I see a merchant's carpet, I instantly get 2 times as much opportunity and cost off of his shops than normal. And certainly that's supposed to be the point. Cut the shop prices in half. But why the fuck are some of these things nearly 300 gold? Relics being 300 gold, and some cards being somewhere between the discount price of 30 to 50, and then a normal price of 88, or 77 actually, 77 to nearly 185, and then the colorless cards sometimes being closer to 200 than being closer to 100, and sometimes even closer to 300 than closer to 200. Feels like you want me to save money, but you only want me to save money within reason. You want me to take opportunities where I could find a relic, but maybe I also just want to get a card pull. Maybe I would like to get a heal, but maybe I should also try to gamble for my life. And maybe between gambling for my life and also gambling for extra maximum life from something like the Abyssal Pools, you also want me to basically throw my head against that wall of enemies and see if I pull out 3 card pulls before I end up getting into a fire, a shop, and then into an elite. Because I don't feel like it's like, oh, I can snipe all the elites in Act 1, I can take 1 elite in Act 2, and then I can snipe all the elites in Act 3, and actually be strong towards the end. That does not feel like what's happening here. At all.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll get better with time.
Maybe.
I know
this is like really, really in like early access. You can it's.
Well,
so I'm not really
no.
surprised.
Well, no, actually, if you look at the patch notes numbers, it's literally V0.99. That means probably the next patch is 1.0 release.
Yeah. So if this is the rough draft before they start trying to tune up what they think needs to be balanced off, and possibly shaving some health points off these enemies, or shaving some damage points off these enemies, I imagine there will be some mechanic reworks for some elites. I expect some mechanic reworks for some elites. Other than that, it's a numbers problem. The number problem on the cards, every single card that is non-upgraded in your starter hand has a lot of things going for it that, instead of giving me the effect to give in Act 2 my cards to become enchanted, where I can never get rid of them, but they cost 0 mana, How about you give me features that act a lot more like Claw against whatever elites and whatever ancients will be appearing in the second act? Because I would rather transform my cards into something else than give them an augmentation that will make them free, because in some runs, it actually will be viable to do that, especially if I'm playing the Ironclad. So, much like I was talking about how Stampede just makes it possible to play your high-cost cards by letting however many copies of a Stampede you have dictate which ones get pulled, there are some cases where when you're using things that will exhaust when they get used with, like, Feed, you don't want those cards to get used with Stampede. You'd like to be able to get viability off those cards, and the only way to get viability off of them is to either whittle the enemy down, which is going to work into a single-player one, or as we discovered there in the multiplayer run, there is no way we're going to get a chance to make Feed work. Might as well take a Primal Force and transform that motherfucker into a rock and chuck it at somebody's head. Because there's no fucking world where cards like Feed deserve to exist next to the power of Demon Form in 5 turns next to a rock. I would rather take 70 damage in a rock after trying to block for 5 turns than take the itty-bitty 10 damage on the card, or either 15 damage if upgraded, to take the additional activation. Get a job. Does the man know? He doesn't know. He doesn't know how much I make in a week. He doesn't know, chat. He doesn't know. And for $200, it's $200, he can choose to come into this room by joining the Discord and explain to me on camera why he believes that I don't have the ability to do a job. While complaining and being angry at me, literally doing my job!
Well, to a lot of these people, being a YouTuber or whatever is not a job.
Well, unfortunately, the part I'm talking about is the working from home and taking care of my family member. Do you know how much the government pays me? I know how much the government pays me. Man, it's wild that people keep saying that. Because even if it wasn't, if I made more money than I do taking care of her by doing my job as a YouTuber, you'd still say get a job, and I would say I don't need a job, I have a career. Now, I'm more interested in wondering what brought you here to say that. You have 5 minutes. Timer going on the clock. Anyways, what are we doing?
You quit. British,
You quit. That's funny.
2 quid ass nigga. You can't even come around my talk on my block. I saw you trying to push a switcher with a block. We called switching. Remember when I put an iron up against spare man with the block? You didn't like that. Keep my name out your mouth around Quitting Street. Oh, I love that meme. I need to find out what the actual name of that content creator is. Because between him and the girl that goes onto TikTok and just screams, "Witch!" while dressing like a fucking a pilgrim Megs Griffin, it is peak humor. That and the Crooning Brothers. I love the Crooning Brothers. The Crooning Brothers are so good.
Yeah, there are like a few. What was it? Fucking. There's like a restaurant, Faro, I guess that's like the British like pub kind of restaurant. It's pretty good. Like from what I've seen of their content, pretty good. But then again, I'm a big fan of like cooking content.
Mm-hmm.
Cooking content's funny to watch.
It is, because either you get like one of two or two. Either you get like the hyper professional chefs, or you get the home chefs that are like, I want to do the. You basically get either fucking Babish, or you get, or you get like what, Andy Cooks, because he's an actual professional chef.
You've got a lot of choices there. If you want modern cooking, it's probably Benjamin Babbage and whoever else is there, and whatever show name Alton Brown does his cooking under. Then if you want a traditional cooking, you get that one guy that keeps cooking traditional meals from the Revolutionary War. Otherwise...
I think Townsend?
Yes. Then if you want something specific, you're probably better just you're probably better off just scrounging the Food Network and seeing if you can get something different.
Yeah, unironically, like, as much as the Food Network gets a lot of flack for what's on there are actually some genuinely good stuff from there.
Listen, when all the Southern white women used to run a monopoly, and even now on her own channel, she would rather be a music host that hosts other people, we are terrified of what could be done by the regular night show host. Because ever since Kelly Clarkson took on a daytime television... Well, it's more like an evening television, because it's not a late night television talk show. But ever since she took on that talk show position, it's like... The worst thing that could happen isn't your song being covered by Kelly Clarkson. It's Kelly Clarkson being funny while insulting all of you and showing you what truly white women do when they are minding their own Caucasian business. Because white women minding their own Caucasian business apparently get in the kitchen and cook up a fucking storm.
Okay, well, I found the body slam on my first encounter, so this implies that I have to go with a block deck. Fuck.
Have fun being invincible.
I do not live in New York. You are wrong, watched YouTube. Do you not realize you don't even have 10 minutes, nigga?
I don't understand the random guessing here. Like you should research better, my man. What are you doing?
It should be public knowledge at this point what state I live in. I have a Radio Carl ad that says what state I live in. But then again, this person is not, this person is new. This person has never seen my content. Again, $200 on the table! You have less than 2 minutes to continue existing in my channel!
This man.
What are we doing right now? I guess we're halfway waiting for Tusky, and I'm halfway trying to make up my mind what I'm going to do next.
Admittedly, I just have to do my dailies in Final Fantasy.
Technically, I was supposed to do my dailies in Enfield, but I chose I'm not going to do that because I have vacation days.
There's a... That is a girl. That is a girl. Okay, that's interesting. Hold on, I'm taking a picture of that.
That is a girl.
That is a girl! It's a girl! It's a girl! No. In all seriousness. No, there's just... There was a bunch of cat girl, just Mikotes in Final Fantasy that were just casually all in a group, all same name, just in different outfits. It kind of looks like a fucking K-pop group, not even gonna lie.
So the femboys are here.
Base.
Yes.
The
femboys have been there. And...
We all know that Carl lives in a portal to Agartha. That's right, it's called my wife's pussy.
That's...
Amazing.
You'd be confused how the portal to Agartha could live inside the body of a southern trailer park girl, but it does. It is in fact where it is. You know, you just couldn't put it anywhere.
I mean, to be fair, let's be very honest. If there can be a fictional character whose eyes are literally just portals to a dimension that punches, anything's possible.
I don't know, but this nigga has less than 1 second left. Well, it looks you've got 0 time left. Let's see here. Is this person waiting in any other channel to be spoken to? No. So it looks like we're going to not be seeing any more of you. Goodbye, watch.
Absolutely amazing.
I don't understand. I don't understand. He asked to be shot! You clicked on my face! Anyways.
Well, I found a second body slam.
Pay you $400 to debate this man. He will not take your money. I would take your money, but he had nothing important to say. He's just like, do your job. And the man doesn't know how much I make in a week when I do my job. Technically, it's every fortnight, but they actually give me money based on how many days I clock in a week, and they actually pay me the money of 2 weeks after 2 weeks. So I guess it's the splitting hair difference. regardless.
I don't know why, but I have to stop my zoomer inhibitions from actually manifesting, because then they'll just casually like start saying zoomer shit, and it just gets bad from there.
Mm-hmm. Also, hello Exocrusher. I actually did my deliverables today. I actually played Midwinter, and I also got finished with and attempted to start another rerun of Chapter 1 of Wander Stars. I learned things about both those games. Also, Midwinter was a fun point-and-click adventure. But how dare you! How dare you make me play a Unity game! Hiss! Hiss! Boo! Hiss! 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 But, Wander Stars, clearly the people who made Wander Stars were big fans of 80s and 90s anime, because it has every single trope, including the tropes that come from Dragon Ball. However, it is one part not really a card game as much as it is, as I described it before when I was looking at it when it was being premiered. It is a Mad Libs turn fighter. But the way that it feels like is that it's like a card game in the way that the Mad Libs that you add to your deck is actually a augment. So like one of your augmenting words can add a +3 or a +5 to your effect, or it could add the ability for the card to repeat, but the repetition is a weaker version than the one that will start on the first repetition, or one that is a strong repetition of 2 copies of the card playing backwards, as well as the ability to hit 2 or more enemies. But the goal isn't to kill your opponents, it's actually to get them to a position of weakness, where you then allow them to be spared, which they call piecing. If you piece and fight, they then give you what is called a pep-up. And just like the celebration of defeat equals friendship, they will give you augmenting supplemental effects that can make you stronger for the next combat. So getting something that will give you the ability to resist elemental damage of opposing types, should you not have the elemental augment word to make it so that you are resistant and immune to the element that is being used, or the effect that that element would use on you if you were to be attacked with the element in question. It is very interesting, because basically, it's asking you to basically fish around and figure out what the weakness of the enemy is, so that you can be able to kill them in a single turn. Air quote, kill them in a single turn. You get more in the honor system for sparing the opponent, and then at the end of the chapter, it collates all of your accolades for the entire chapter and pays out the amount of honor that you would have earned. And it has a hardcore permadeath mode, where, well, it's not permadeath per se, it's more like a run-based permadeath scenario instance, where you start a run with the intention of not dying once. And it has a star system, kind of like all those mobile games that were based on star systems of better levels of completion. It wants you to try and complete the run without ever losing a combat. It wants you to complete the episode once, and it wants you to complete the hardcore version without losing a single battle, because if you lose the battle, you die. It's basically, it's like one part Darkest Dungeon 1. It's partially like a card builder, but it's also more like a intuition game. You can go back and watch the VOD from earlier to basically get a feel for what I'm talking about. But outside of the anime tropes, because of course they had to stick in a wolf guy that has the Akira slide, it is what happens when you take a Mad Libs joke book and you turn it into, I wouldn't say turning it into Shin Megami Mad Libs, but it feels kind of like that. You are trying to basically spare your opponent so that you can infinitely upgrade your character to be stronger and stronger. You want to spare the enemy because that is what gets you the actual honor points and multipliers of honor points to have the experience pool that allows you to upgrade your character. But in order to get new words to augment your build, you have to get the honor points to unlock them. Then at the start of the run, you get to actually choose what kind of run you want to have. You can choose to take a 15-point negative or a 15-point positive or a neutral point multiplier against the points that you're earning. If you take the one that gives you more points, you're basically making yourself weak. So the idea becomes that you're trying to take the effects that would allow you to negate the weaknesses that you're going to be weak against. Because if you're weak against them, you take more damage. Just like if you hit your enemy's weakness, you actually get SP points, which in the slots that you can use the Mad Lib words, it opens up more of them. So you need to have one slot to use a card. And then you need to have at least 2 slots to use an augmenting word. You need at least 3 slots if you wanted to use an augmenting word as well as a word to describe the noun action that you're using, or rather the verb action you're doing. So if you wanted to have an element, you need at least 3. And if you wanted to use something that has at least 2 slots, you're going to need 3 as well. Because if your baseline action, or if your modifying augmenting word is 2 slots, and your action word is 1 slot, you need 3 slots total. And so on and so on and so on. The more weaknesses that you use in the attack that you're hitting the enemy, the more SP you get back. I think it's 1 SP per weakness. So if I hit an enemy that is weak to fire with punch, with something called Super Mega Almighty Big 1 Punch, it should, for each one that hits a weakness, and every time I repeat the weakness, it will give points towards that in combat. And it has a margin that the health pool has to be in. You can't just get them low. It has to be within a specific margin. And yes, there are pup-ups that actually make it so you can get into that margin easier.
Hey, Carl, what do you think I should take out of for an Ironclad run after a boss? Mangle, Fiend Fire, or Stroke?
Is this your first boss?
Yeah, this is first boss. I am running more so a block deck, body slam block deck.
Well, Fiend Fire is out of the question.
Stroke is exhaust your hand, draw a card for each card exhausted.
If you have the ability to replace the cards being exhausted, that's probably fine. Otherwise, I feel like it's probably a skip.
Yeah, I'm thinking it is. Alright, I just wanted your opinion because you played it more than I have.
Okay. But yeah, it's an interesting game. I was already looking at it. The fact that you added it on to something that I wanted to do kept making me feel horrible that I kept not doing my deliverables. But I couldn't fucking find time! There's too much shit happening! At least the coverage of the marathon shit got in my way. There's something in my ass! It's garlic cheesy bread!
I love that. In the ass.
Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Anyways, when did Tusky say she was going to be here? Assuming I'm home on time, help guide new players, blah 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 blah.
The healer forgot mechanics.
It's already 6.
So she probably isn't here on time.
I'm going to drop her a question and see what's happening. SETA did something happen?
Nah, I can lose it.
Okay.
Still struggles.
That's not where the garlic bread's supposed to go. Listen, that wasn't my joke. It was Marcus's joke, okay?
At the start of your turn, deal damage equal to...
I just wanted garlic bread, motherfucker.
I just wanted garlic bread. And now J-Max getting his ass busted open by Kanan, because he had some garlic bread.
For you, card. Add additional... I'm gonna take the doll. That gives me block.
It's basically the start of a fucking song by Digbar, man. Specifically to the beat of 22 grand.
Yeah.
I guess we will try Don't Starve Together again. I can't think of anything else to do other than Toontown Online.
Yeah, that pepper jack was a good call on my part.
Because it's one of those two. At least need to make sure I log in for my gift. Cloven Kidhoods. How many people here own Don't Starve? I know I do. I know Reflex does. I believe Marcus does as well.
I do, but I will not. I unfortunately will not be able to attend.
Why?
I have other things I unfortunately must do.
Okay. No, Master Wolf has it.
I am currently doing a run, so I'll do it. I'll join right after.
Okay. Hello, Juan. Juan's been here for a while. I imagine he is somewhere where he doesn't have access to his computer. Because I have my own tasks in Toontown that I'd like to do, but all of those are high-level adventures. I can't do those. It's that or training. Because Mabby Pro is out of the question. Mabby Pro would require us to start at the beginning of, like, Wednesday to onboard people throughout the entire week. Because when the game's fucking story is in fucking Korean, and apparently all of the advice trees are specifically linked inside the Discord now, and not inside of a wiki post on the forum threads, it makes it that much harder to actually make shit work and be viable. But that's the consequence of playing a game that is a private server versus the retail edition. But I refuse to make myself play Retail Mabby No Guy, because I refuse to give my money to fucking Nexon. I refuse to give my money to Nexon America.
I mean, that's really reasonable.
Yeah.
And yet, too many people chose to give them money, and that's why that guy got that promotion from Nexon over the last Descendant. Or the first Descendant. And again, the majority of how these people are lazy as fuck does not seek to escape me. Because it appears that what's about to happen is there's about to be a bunch of people that are going to put a lot of money into Crimson Desert. Don't even think this shit is a fucking single player. No, it is a single player game. It's not even a multiplayer game. So what the fuck is these people going crazy buck wild for Crimson Desert? Shield pack, deluxe pack shield, attack horse set, a plate set, de novo anti-temper, 5 PC activations within a day activation limit, third party DRM alongside a third party EULA for Crimson Desert. What the fuck is this game? And why are there people acting like this shit is going to be the newest thing since sliced bread? If it was a multiplayer game, I'd understand, but it's not. I guess this is somebody doing their version of Elden Ring? It's the only logic I see. Ugh. Anyways. Bad cheese. Oh, I see this. I've seen this game. Fields of Mistra, Talented, Spin Hero, Run Gore, Swarm Grinder. Delta Force, no, I will not look at the 5th article of fucking Delta Force again. And they literally have both Helldivers. Because you played Helldivers 2, perhaps you'd like to play Marathon and Arc Raiders. Neither of those things are like Helldivers 2. Why, Steam?
Yeah, I've always like had to explain to people with this. What it means is they take a tag, like any user-generated tag, and like shooter could be one of them. And so every shooter game is quote unquote like Arc Raiders, like Marathon, like, you know. Like I literally got an LGBT game being similar to Doom Eternal. I'm not even kidding.
Mm-hmm.
because people like called it gay or something. Which, you know what, that's fair.
It's fucking ironic because Grave Zone Warfare, Escape from Tarkov, Hunt Showdown 1896, Arena Breakout Infinite, Delta Force, and Far Far West. All of these games are FPS, therefore they're like Helldivers 2. Therefore, you'd like to play almost nothing but extraction shooters. Although Far Far West is more like a comedy sci-fi game. It sounds not fun. It sounds super not fun.
Mm-hmm.
And like in terms of looking at that as a suggestion, what the fuck makes you think I want that? I would be more likely to buy the Jedi Survival and Jedi Fallen Order bundle than I would any of those video games. I heard a lemon duck.
Yep.
Yes, hello.
I still need to play those two games.
I mean,
I played a bit of those. I really needed to play the full games as myself. Including I played like a Force Unleashed as a kid. Never fully played the Jedi Knight series though. I did get far with like Jedi Knights Academy. One of my favorites.
they have the remastered editions of Life is Strange and Before the Storm on the store for under $8.
We live in a society.
Do I hate myself enough?
No, don't get it.
But the content.
No.
No, don't support it.
No. You'll get the second one on
cooties.
remaster. Stop.
But
You'll
content.
get cooties.
I already have cooties. I have a woman.
No,
You're
the
right.
wrong. No, the bad type of cooties.
The queer cooties.
The woke
Yeah.
cooties. No. They'll get the woke cooties. Just because it's queer doesn't mean it's woke.
No, that's 100% what that means.
Fuck.
Unfortunately, queer Marxists to this day continue to be gay and woke, so you can't avoid it.
They're both gay and cringe.
That you don't need to make content on Life is Mid.
He doesn't, however.
I would rather you play that one high school game.
Do you have any idea how little that narrows it down?
Hold on. Fair point. I'd rather you play a video game adaptation of Slaughter High.
The fuck is that?
It's a cult following. It's a cult movie. I watched a review on it by Brandon Pennell a long time ago.
Thank you, Lemon Duck.
I've also rather you play like a fucking Telltale video game adaptation of Little Shop of Horrors.
The fuck? You are saying words, and I don't think you understand what words mean.
I said Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. What is that?
You don't know Little Shop of Horrors?
No! I don't play mascot cringe.
It came out before.
Okay, as you say,
you
it
hearing
does
this?
sound like...
Are you hearing this, Carl?
Lemon Duck, you realize this is where you get teed up to say, but it's not mascot horror. It's one of the quintessential old queer games that came out beforehand.
No, it's not. It's a movie from 1986.
With the queer politics that came alongside Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh my god.
Look! Now you're making the gay in the room sad!
Oh wait, you're gay, Phantasm? Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Man, I hope they're not here.
Don't worry. I hold on. Let me give the blessing. Hold on.
He's happy where he
Another-
is.
In order to Patre, you all can now say the slur.
My apologies. My apologies, Phantasm.
It's not it. Look, I get what you are kind of saying, but at the same time, Lemon Duck, it's like I don't think anyone here knows what you are talking about, and you have to explain yourself. Is
I
like
actually
what
do
I'm
know
trying
what
to
he's
say.
talking about. It's just that he probably has to explain to everybody else.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Do you know, Carl?
No, I don't.
How can you not know about the movie that was made in 1986?
I know about the movie. You said there was a game.
I was being and was saying I would rather you play a game adaptation of it.
So there is no game adaptation?
No, I hope there is.
Sadness.
Oh my god.
The monkey paw curled for Final Fantasy, and now everybody's probably not too pleased with that. But
If I don't draw a... There it is.
You're finally adding Beastmaster, but it's a limited job. Okay. Good job. The pet class is a meme class. Good to know.
That seems sad.
Well, okay. So, who here's played Final Fantasy? This is not rhetorical. This is actual genuine.
Not me, because I do not care for the franchise.
Okay. Fair enough. There is a lot of fucking classes to Final Fantasy. One that 14 has been, the 14 community has been asking for basically, what I can only imagine is like time in memoriam, is Beastmaster, which, as the title of it stands, it's for Beastmaster. So like just bestial things like that, so on and so forth. 14 did it, but it's under the title of Limited Job. Limited Job means that you can play it, but it is not to the same level and degree as every other class, which is at, I think, level 100. This is at, like, level 50? Like, it's level 50 max. And then that's it. So you can't play it in current content, but you can play it in much older content.
Okay.
They did the same thing with Blue Mage.
Okay.
Interesting. Italian Senator Tifa Lee Cart. That is right. The things that she had to do on that stage in order to get a seat at the table. Italian politics will never forget.
Sex.
Yes, Lemon Duck. It was sex. But it wasn't just any kind of sex. It was,
It was the fun kind.
it was porn.
The
The
internet
pornographies
is
have breached our
porn.
defenses. You have seen what is done to our colleagues. And worst of all, the pornographies can be any one of us. The pornographies can be you. The pornographies can be me. The pornographies can even be...
Was that supposed to
I'm
be
just
your
kidding.
Jamaican accent?
He was supposed to be like a spy to...
Yeah, but so unfortunately that didn't sound like it did. It sounded like you were being Jamaican.
Yeah, it sounded like you were doing Hermes from Futurama, who did the exact bit from Meet the Spy. Lord have mercy, he hasn't seen Futurama.
Oh, I've seen Futurama. I just took it a shock.
Okay.
I'm just like, I sound like Hermes?
Whatever you say, Hermes Conrad.
I'm going to jump! Do a flip.
Also, I have an impervious without the exhaust, and now it does blocks for 40. Oh my god, I'm getting every block-based
You
fucking card.
start defenses.
Well, see,
Hell yeah, brother.
well, it looks like you got to have the fucking body slam deck before I did.
I know.
Indeed.
Also, the server's up.
Silence is different. Wait,
Well,
is this like the Eternal
the code for
Returns?
Marathon is way too
No.
funny.
Fuck.
Server, as in, don't starve together.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna read this quote out. Marathon has sold close to 2 million copies within its first week.
You know, I would join you guys, but like I have shit to do. That's
I would believe
sprite
you if the Steam chart said otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
You
Like,
know?
the Steam charts does not correlate that there's over 2 million. Not even fucking close. If there's other multi-platform gameplay, I don't know. But, I don't know what to tell you.
Like, yeah, I get it. Your PlayStation probably could have had that, and like, sure, that could have been for working for that. But something tells me that Marathon on PlayStation would not have been at all like a thing. Just saying. I feel like the more likely case is that Bungie is trying their hardest to stay afloat before Sony just takes them out back and says, look at the river and tell me about the rabbits.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
It's like that one Family Guy skit where like the fucking like horse racers just like trying to see if the horse's leg works, and like the horse puts his leg down on the foot and it's like in pain and the
Yeah.
horse racer has to put him down, but then the horse like snaps the gun from him and like shoots him with the gun, and so like
I get what you mean.
Okay, don't need to explain the joke.
sorry.
Oh my god, have you ever bought
Go
the
ahead.
axe robots, the axe bots,
Yes,
Carl?
I faced them. They're very fucking annoying.
Oh
They
my
are
god,
annoying.
hard. Oh my god. It is. The prophecy is true. They're fucking annoying. Okay, finally I killed one of them.
I actually fought them on silent, and surprisingly, that fight was rather easy on silent. I don't know. If you somehow manage to get past Act 1, you actually just can take off with silent. I don't understand. Now, people, I understand
Yeah.
that, like, you know, creative name. You don't have to have a creative name when you're playing an MMO. But please, for the love of God, pick something other than Kirito Horizon.
No, there he goes, finally.
Ouch, my back.
One back.
Ah. I wish I had a better chair.
Due time, right?
The chair I'm currently sitting in is basically a lawn chair with a cushion. I moved my other bigger chair that I had months back into the other room to use as a sitting chair in that room. I was able to repair it, but at the same time, I don't want to wheel it back in here because I wouldn't have leg room to spin it. Should I have to get another chair, I'm going to probably just get a different chair. Welcome, Blackblood Wolf.
Privilege, deal 9, draw until you draw a non-attack. Nope. Deal 6, gain 3. That's not bad. I'm gonna take it. Oh my god, half the cards in my hand are just they cost nothing.
You love to see it, right?
Yeah.
I need to ask Master Wolf if the game is actually crashing him or if it's making him leave from the instance. That's the second time I saw it make him connect and disconnect.
I mean, it was kind of like that yesterday. Remember when we were trying to play Eternal Return?
Mm-hmm. See, I know that it's a different connection now, so it should be fine since that was two completely different games, but when it comes to connection and disconnection from a Don't Starve Together server, sometimes a crash can happen because a mod is conflicting, sometimes it can happen because the game says the person's connecting on my end as the server host, but I don't know what's actually happening on their hardware. Because sometimes the game hangs for like 5 seconds because it needs some processing time to connect to the port that the server is being opened on. He's played a full round before when he connected before, so I just need to figure out what's going on there. It's making him leave. Is it giving you an error message when it's making you leave, or is it just completely disconnecting you? Is it saying there's a problem with one of your mods, or that there's some type of command in Lua script error? Bloodwolf is joining the game. Bloodwolf is still here, 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 still here. Connected. Okay.
Yeah, I've had enough of Latin jazz. I like Latin jazz, but at the same time, I can only tolerate so much. Not tolerate. That's a poor choice of word for it.
Let's see here. Battle round. Baseline damage blocked. Shadow Chanteuse. Okay. Facial increases when using battle spears. Increase fair amount when attacking using battle spears. Learn how to craft the Odin Spear. Odin Spear can form a special attack. Upgrade using restraint static. Battle helms earn more. Battle helms earn a fair amount. Commander's helm. Beefalo domestication. Beefalo domestication. And he left the game. So you were in for a while that time. What disconnected you that time?
Oh, okay, so I just won my run in I just won my run. I'm gonna figure out. Huh. That's cool. Devastation. Oh, that's where I get Red Skull. Win helmet. The first time you gain strange, each combat double the amount of gain. Oh, that's not bad. This is really good.
It's taking a while to type that message.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I had
9, 10.
3 blocks in my hand. Or not 3 blocks. 3 body slams in my hand.
Based.
And I upgraded all of them. They costed 0, and then I had one of the relics. Oh. Whenever I play an attack, gain an additional block.
Okay, based.
Yeah, no, it was a really good deck. I took the only time I took damage was fighting the actual boss of Act 3 and Act 1, but not a lot of damage because I just kept on blocking. My original plan was to get a strike base deck with the strike totem, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just build off that, but since I found the shield slam or body slam my first combat, I was like, okay, I'm building a block deck. I'll join in a second. I need to use the bathroom, so I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, girl, I'm gonna take off, okay? I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye. Is it just a connectivity issue? Itchy.
I'm back. Let me
Welcome back.
figure out my mod situation too.
I think the thing that you should try starting with is combined health, combined status. That should be a mod made by Recibib and like 5 to 7 other people. Start with just that and see if you can connect with that.
Okay.
Because if there's 2 mods I know should be safe, it should be Craft Pot and Combined Status. Because right now, Bloodwolf's having connectivity issues, where allegedly the server is disconnecting him.
Um,
I'm going to put
and then what's the other one? The
Craft Pot. It'll have
the item info, or
no. It should say Craft Pot on it. It should be a mod that says Craft Pot, and its description should say, "What if cooking was a little bit more like crafting?"
Great, yeah, those ones didn't crash my game. And then what's your world title again?
It is the Magical Communism server.
Gotcha. Found it.
And the password is still Carl1. So you have a client performance connection of good. You shouldn't be getting disconnected.
Guess it's loading for me, at least. I have also the compass mod on.
Uh-huh.
So we'll see if that works.
It will. It should go towards the top right of your screen. Next to the stat that should be the world status. Because right now I just have I just have the physical daytime paused as I'm trying to figure out if the connection issue is because of people idling inside of the character selection menu. Which is a very rare thing that can happen, but it can happen. This way we don't lose time. And since this is your time coming back to it, you'll probably want to try and figure out a character as well. Why is Lag DMing me?
I want to play the robot.
Okay.
WX78.
Mm-hmm. Alright.
Alright, yeah, it worked.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, worked.
Of course, I have absolutely no idea what your character does, unfortunately, since his reboot. But I do know that it has to do with the scanner tool in your hand being used to scan things for biological data, which gets used to create your character modifiers for the 3 slots that should be on one side of your screen. Those are your mod slots, which you can stick things into.
Sorry, I just need to move the... Oh. My inspect self.
That'll give you the ability to look at yourself, and it'll also let you see what you have in your skill tree if you have any upgrades in your skill tree.
Okay, insight is really the first. Using insight, recommend checking out the configuration. Okay.
Are you playing with a controller or mouse or keyboard?
Mouse and keyboard.
Okay, this is going to be easier for you to be able to remember. So, most objects, when you hover over them, because there is a mod on the server called Insight, it's that little blue parchment paper in the bottom right corner. That is a mod that's going to give you the ability to hover over things. So, in order to examine most things, you basically are going to hold down Alt and click on them. That gives you the ability to get some type of identifying piece of hint information from your character that will tell you what ideally the thing does. Alternatively, when you hover over it normally, you're going to see that it has timers on some things. such as the trees. That's telling you the phase that the tree is going to transform into. If you hold down the Alt key, it'll also show you that information in terminology of the stage that it is and how long it takes for the next stage, and then identifying information that should, for trees, for example, tells you the chance it has to turn to a tree guard, which is a form of mini-boss. Right now, within the first few days, the chance is 0. Because if a boss were to spawn the moment you were trying to chop down trees to actually survive, to establish a base, that would be very, very bad.
I need to find rocks.
Yes, you do. Yes, we do, but yes, you do. So, we are currently going in separate different directions. Biomes do have names. It is easier for you to recognize them based on the tools of things inside of them. Like, for example, I am walking through the Mandrake Forest, and I know that it's the Mandrake Forest because I saw a Mandrake. I happen to have a tool that lets me see how many of a thing is nearby me. For example, because I know I'm in a Mandrake Forest, I'm surrounded by lumpy trees. So within 12 tiles around my character, there is a bunch of lumpy trees, and there's also a bunch of evergreen trees. Which means I'm now walking into a spider forest. It could be...
Gotcha.
It could be the forest that leads to the moon petal, but I don't think it is. But in the case that it was, I'd be able to find out by seeing the object. Recognizing objects this way is called recognizing set pieces. So, for example, I'm walking past a pond set piece. The pond set piece is a part of a greater mechanic that I will explain should we survive to spring. But the idea is, around it are 7 berry bushes. Technically, it's a mandated requirement of at least 4 to 5, but there are 7. Those berry bushes are surrounded by 4 birchnut trees, at least a minimum of 2. And when they are surrounded by these objects, it makes it so that I have the ability to potentially do something with it, at minimum collecting it. I also have happened to have found the beefalo herd, or a beefalo herd. These are basically exactly what they sound like. They are buffalo that have meat. Preferably, we don't want to kill them. My character, I'm going to have to kill some of them, but you don't want to kill all of them, because they'll have a purpose. They are a mystery master tool that we will take advantage of later. And now I am on the other side of that spider forest, where in the area around me there are a bunch of spider dens. I am coming here specifically to kill these spiders for their silk and their meat. Preferably I get more silk than I do meat, because I don't want to have to come back here again until it's time. Namely because these dens, they are upgradable. The longer they exist in the world, the more they will level up. Till the point that they become like the ones on the last run, where I was breaking down the tier 3 hives. They have to grow to that point. They're like trees, but different. There's also pig houses. Those will be explained later. But basically, there's a biome nearby you. In the biome that you started in, there should be a biome called the mosaic. You'll know that it's the mosaic because, like a mosaic painting, the terrain that it's going to be made up of is going to be made up of different parts. So, rock biome, grass ground, deep forest grass ground, etc. Is anything I'm saying making sense here?
Kinda.
So basically, there is a guaranteed rock biome somewhere nearby the starting zone. You want to kind of move in a circle to find that zone. However, it's about to be night. If you don't have cut grass and twigs in order to make a torch, you're about to die to darkness. It's one of those kind of survival multiplayer games.
Gotcha. I have a bunch of angry bats on me now.
Run for your life, you'll get away from them. Shouldn't be angry bats unless you opened up a sinkhole.
I think I did. Yep, said plug sinkhole. Oops, I thought it was a rock.
It's technically a rock. It's a rock that leads to the underside of the world. Not exactly a rock, but it's close enough.
Well, I got stuff for a rock from it.
Yes. The most important thing you got from it was flint. You need flint to make tools. You need 2 flint to make a pickaxe. You need 1 flint to make an axe. Pickaxes mine rock. Axes technically mine trees, but chop trees.
Gotcha.
I would usually suggest whenever it comes to finding your first 5 flint, the first 2 flint you find should be used to make a pickaxe.
Yeah, both an axe and a pickaxe.
Blood Wolf disconnected again.
Weird. Can I extinguish the fire air?
The fire that was a tree burning,
No, campfire I placed.
it will naturally extinguish over time.
Okay. Spider. Ooh, what is gold nugget I need? Fuck. Okay. Wormhole. I know that's a teleport. It minuses your sanity.
Yes, every time for every round trip.
Also, I found a shitload of gold here.
Was there graves nearby it?
Bunch of cherubs. Next to a statue of Maxwell.
That is also a set piece. That is technically a special set piece, but it's because it sounds like it's a graveyard, but it actually sounds like you found a Maxwell graveyard. So, the zone that you're standing in, is there fog?
Not really, no.
Okay, you're standing inside of a special set piece.
Okay. Bioscanner. What? I need to figure out how this character plays. Oh, shit.
The bioscanner gets used on creatures to scan them.
Gotcha. I'll just make my... more rock. Okay. Okay. Weird. I will make another campfire. Oh, I need thatch. Okay. Oh shit.
What are we shitting?
More bats.
Yes, bats return at dusk and night. Unless you have an axe to fight back, I would suggest just walking away from them.
I'm like setting them on fire at least. Do a little bit of damage.
That's an acceptable choice.
Oh. Oops. I thought it said food.
You thought what said food?
Well, I cooked monster meat.
Yeah.
I didn't read that it said, that it minus food. It was kind of hard to see from the font.
Hunger 18 plus 8, sanity negative 15, health negative 15.
For me, it was only 3.
Your character has different hunger values because they're not technically a living person.
Sure. I still need... Okay. It's weird.
Yes, you are in fact inside of... So this area here, this is the graveyard. And this over here is the set piece that you walked into.
No, it was actually not this one specifically. It was over on the other side. Like, so there's a second way of coming around. I walked like a fork on the road. I went left, kind of.
Okay.
That's where I found it. Shit. I forgot to... Ah! Wait! I'm dead. Fuck. So I was trying to get to the light. Oops.
Lucky for you, I'm playing Wickfred. We need to wait till the day. Actually, you can revive right now. Possess that heart. Oh wait, I have to give it to you, don't I?
Yay!
That was called a telltale heart. I had to sacrifice
Yes,
40 of my life in order to make that. And it's because I had spider
I'm
glands.
sorry.
No, that's fine. This character is going to regenerate the life like it's nothing.
My shit's over here.
You made a science machine. Now I need a backpack. And now you get a backpack. Pick up that backpack. You now have extra inventory space. And here's a spear.
Oh, well, thank you.
That is a weapon. The standard attack key is F. You equip items by either pressing the numeral key that corresponds with 1 through 0, or you equip them with right click, which will automatically migrate them into your hand, and it will replace it with the thing that it wants to replace itself with. So if you have a pickaxe in your furthest right slot, and you then put something into your furthest right slot, it's going to cycle between that object and that object. If there's no open inventory space in your basic inventory, it's going to try and source something to another inventory slot somewhere else.
Gotcha. Found a bunch of bees.
Right now, what I want is that marble I walked by. Well, not marble. It's cutstone, actually. Where was it? It's over this way. Because right now, the first day concerns are the most important, which is staying alive and finding the resources to build an alchemy engine. Well, as you flick through your crafting window, you'll notice in your prototyper and stations tab that you had the ability to build the science machine. And as you're standing next to it, you also saw that it then gave you the ability to begin attempting to unlock and open the next object called an alchemy engine. That alchemy engine requires electrical doodads and it requires cut stone. I already have some of the necessary required pieces to make that object since you already made that machine. I need to go find the failed survivor that I walked by that had them.
I'm back.
Which I believe was this one. Yes, this one. So this cut stone, when I walk back to your science machine, I can combine to create that object. And then comes the most important part, which is figuring out where you're going to settle your main preliminary base. It is a meme that people have that when they first join a server, they ask, "Where's base? Where's base? Where's base?" That's why I named this. That's why I named the server Magical Communism. It is this. This is the only game in which having to manage the resources for multiple people is necessary, and who does not work to build the base does not get to know where base is.
Okay.
There's two kinds of players basically, and don't start together. There's a base sitter, and then there's actual builders. Builders are people who actually know how to do something without being told how to do it. People who sit in base basically were a little Timmy that got the game on like Christmas or some fucking holiday, and instead of actually learning how to play, was basically being carried by somebody that they had to work off of. It is usually very easy to find out because if their first question is literally to ask where's base, it depends on the day that they connected on. So today is day 3. I can't ping it. There it is. Today is day 3 with 18 days left on autumn. If a person were to join a server at this point and say where's base, it means that they're pretty much an inexperienced player. Doesn't mean that they're going to be completely useless, but more than likely they don't understand that there's no way that we would have found all the materials necessary to begin basing on day 3. Because we don't know enough information on the map yet. We haven't found what we need in order to do the thing we want to do. Which would be creating a science machine with the intention to find where to go. Because we don't have enough information to figure out where resources are, or what the best position on the map to make a base would be. If they were to connect on day 10, that would be a lot more feasible. Day 10 makes more sense because logically we would have found enough information and resources to find a base. Whether or not we actually started putting one together is an entirely different question. Because that requires basing resources, like the wood I'm currently gathering, and the charcoal I'm currently gathering. For our purposes, we're trying to mine as much wood as possible from tier 3 trees. And then I have to burn trees in order to get charcoal in the first place. We usually don't use tier 2 trees because they only give 3 wood when you have a shovel, which I didn't make. Because I don't have the stone to do so, because I did not find the stone biome.
Going up from that marble grave, there's quite a bit of stone.
No, we're inside the promised land. We're fine. I just found the promised land.
Oh, okay.
Go back on the road that I'm in. I will explain when you get here.
Okay. Okay. Can I pick up my science machine?
You can only pick up a machine once you've broken it down to its base resources.
And
Which
I
would
pick up that again.
which would require a hammer.
Yep.
That is actually helping. Continue possessing them. So the reason why this is called the Promised Land is because this is actually called the Spider Quarry. But it's called the Promised Land because we have a joke about a creature called MLS. Martin Luther Spider.
Here, I'm gonna go grab my shit again.
Okay.
It's right over here. It was. Okay, so you're saying Promised Land.
We have a running joke about a spider called Martin Luther Spider. And Martin Luther Spider takes the spiders to the Promised Land of silk and honey. The gold is the silk. Or excuse me, the gold is the honey. The spider silk is the silk. It is a lot of silk and it's a lot of gold.
Mm.
We're not breaking all of these. We're just breaking the ones that are problematic. This is actually a good location to get early food from, but what we need now is the actual stone. We need the stone, we need the flint, we need the gold, and we probably will also need the niter. So the reason we call it the Promised Land is because this is a lot of resources in one location that can be utilized for one's purpose. Usually it is the gold boulders people want, because they will leave the niter boulders for summer. But we're going to probably need both. I don't know how many of which you grabbed, because unfortunately, since you don't have the other mod that lets you call the thing out, you can't call out to me how much you have.
I have 6 niter, 4 gold. I need to make more pickaxes and stuff.
Don't make too many.
Oh, no, I figured.
Usually you'll...
Like 2 marble in my backpack.
Okay. You don't really have a lot of use for marble right now, other than turning it into flooring material, but it's good to have. They can help design the base later.
Gotcha.
Now, for our purposes, we happen to have a Wigfrid, which means we need as much gold as we can possibly carry right now, for reasons that will make sense when we find a basing location. But right now, we need resources, we need food, and we're going to need bird seed. Seed is bird seed. The seeds that are on the ground. Sometimes they randomly spawn when a bird drops them, and sometimes they just are there when you walk into frame. You need 2 of them, minimum.
I have 3 right now.
Okay, that's good. If you find any more, keep collecting them.
Yeah. Where are you at?
I went deeper inside of the spider quarry. I'm still harvesting materials.
Okay.
I will eventually find you. It will be very noticeable when I try to find you. So within the first 4 days, it is not deathly important for players to know exactly where each other are. There are mods that feature tools to allow people to do that, but one of the base functions of the game is that if every player has a compass and holds it, it will actually show each other where they are inside the world. Otherwise, the other base function of the compass is so that you can tell the cardinal direction of what direction you're facing, which is the one that you have equipped, as I also have that equipped. Because people spin their cameras around often, they don't know whether or not they're facing the cardinal direction.
Okay.
However, there is another tool at our disposal that can be used to figure out where people are. Tell me if you can see this.
On the map?
Yes.
Yeah. I saw that.
That is a flare. Using grass and niter, you can create a flare that can show you the general area that a person is currently inside of. So that flare position is where I currently am right now as I continue to mine the rest of these gold boulders.
Sure.
I'm running low on grass, so I have to be conservative about how I use my torch, as should you. It doesn't need to be permanently on all the time, but it does need to be on long enough that you can stay out of the darkness. Even a flicker of light resets what we call the Charlie timer. Charlie is the night monster. She has killed you twice now.
Yeah, I figured.
Holy frabjous. What a fucking find. Oh my god.
Well.
So, I found an object that is known as a miner's hat. It is basically one of the tiers of science that give you access to headlight.
Okay.
Since I found it for myself, I'll keep it for now, but it is going to be one of the things that we are going to need to live while I try to sustain myself off this monster meat. I think this is as much as we need to start a preliminary base, but we need to find a source of grass. Or rather, I need to find a source of grass, Carl said as he walks deeper into the desert. Because we need grass, we need sticks, we need trees, we need gold, we need rocks. Both normal rocks and flint rocks. And you need them in spades, at least to fill up a single slot as you begin filling out what would be the beginning of your thingamajig.
Alright, okay, I'll just make a campfire right now. And then
Do you have
equip.
Do you have a torch?
Yeah, but
Burn trees.
oh, yeah.
Set the tree on fire, put the torch away. It conserves the torch and it gives you light. And also creates an opportunity to take charcoal. Because if you're making a campfire, you're burning your grass and your wood supply for what is supposed to be stable light to work. And if you're not doing anything in it and you're just using it to live, it has to definitely be an emergency. Because torch, mobile light, stationary campfire. That seems like it would just make logical sense, but it probably doesn't. This is the oasis. And it appears to be a safe oasis. Okay, that's a source of cactus at least. I'm just walking the definition of this area. So, this is a desert biome. There are 2 deserts in the world. One of them is known as the Dragonfly Desert. The other one is known as the Oasis Cactus Desert. You can tell which one you're standing in, because when you're standing in it, you're going to see a sombrero cactus, or you're going to see a hangman cactus. So, a cactus with arms versus a cactus that's a barrel. And somewhere inside of said Oasis Desert will be the Oasis proper. It is a giant dried up lake that will fill up in summer, that is surrounded by birchnut trees. The idea is that the trees will give you shelter from the heat that will happen in that season, and then also you will use it to base during the season, because the temperature around the water source is going to be stable enough to give you access to a specific resource that will be gatherable upon access to the zone. It is basically the tool that you use to survive the season, is what it is. Basically, when you go to that zone, you'll have to fish in the lake. And when you fish in the lake will provide you access to a resource that will be a recipe. And that recipe is going to give you access to a food cost. And because that recipe is going to give you access to a particular food cost, it's going to actually give you the ability to then get half of the recipe necessary to be able to actually survive in the heat of the summer. It's a hat recipe. And you have to fish for it in order to get it. So, it provides food, it provides gold, because if you pull up a trinket, that trinket can be traded to the Pig King for gold, and it provides another thing for another creature that I won't tell you about just yet, because I don't want to spoil it for you. But
Found a hat.
What hat is it?
Straw hat.
Was it in the Oasis?
Kinda.
Was there a fishing pole and a straw roll next to it?
Yeah.
Yes, you're in the Oasis. You'll want to keep the straw hat. You can use it to make a miner's hat. But we're going to need to wait until it's night, and we'll need to find a location that has fireflies.
Gotcha. I am starving.
I have food for you. Come here. Where you made your fire. As it appears, you ended up creating a forest fire, but that's okay. This wood was not going to matter.
Okay, I have to like walk around, realizing.
So from where you were, if you hold the edge next to the water line that you're on the side of, you will walk back towards the entrance you came from. If you open your map, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know, I saw it.
So now you should be seeing me in the distance as you walk closer to the side. And there you are.
Yep. Yeah, I see it. I see it.
Eat this. Eat this.
Why is my character so like slow on the animation?
Sometimes that happens. You can use the spacebar to do basic automatic actions based on the tool in your hands.
Well,
Everybody betrayed Bucky the Horse Bear. This forest fire is actually necessary. However, we can walk away now.
okay.
One of the things that is weird about actual fires in this game is, like anything, it works on chunk generation and chunk updating. So if we stand around the fire, it's going to continue burning. If we walk off the screen, it is going to be no longer an active tile, and it will stop burning.
So it's like chunks in Minecraft. Gotcha.
You'll want to pay attention to what I'm doing here. If I stop sucking... So this is a Clockwork Knight. He has a kiteable attack pattern. Unfortunately, he's a single target enemy, so he didn't beat the shit out of you. Because he should beat the shit out of you. However, these spiders are currently chasing me, and they will try to beat the shit out of me. What you're going to want to do is hit them, so you can pull their aggro back and forth. But don't let them hit you for free. All of them hitting you at once will be bad.
Well, yeah. Ow. Okay, there's a lot.
We're gonna kite them. So, as you notice here, don't kite into them, kite away from them. So as you'll notice here, they have an attack sequence. And that attack sequence can be baited. When there's multitudes of them happening at one time, they are going to try to hit the closest target to them. And then they're going to push enemies out of their way.
Stop.
They're going to push enemies out of their way to try to get to that target. If you kite them, you can basically farm them for their free resources. But you're not at that point yet. It's okay.
I know. I'm like trying to click on them, but they're a little too fast.
Don't click on them. Use the F key. If you're
F. Okay.
If you're clicking on them, you're gonna have a hard time.
F. Okay, that was weird.
That was weird. That was weird.
God.
Where does this wormhole take us? Does it take us into this biome here?
How do I regain my max HP all the way up?
We have to get you boosters. Which requires bees. No, it takes us back closer to the oasis, but that's good to know. That is a useful wormhole. But yes, to get your max HP back up, we need to get bees. What was weird? You said, when you were reviving, you said that was weird. What was weird?
The, max HP thing? Like, I don't know why I just thought that was weird.
It is a punishment for revival, because if everybody was able to get free revivals for nothing, it would have absolutely zero consequence. It is basically a way to balance multiple people surviving. Because if a survivor has access to revival magic, then they have access to recovery medicine.
That makes sense.
Normally when a person dies like that, don't pick those up. Don't pick those up.
Oh.
These are gobblers. Gobblers are attracted to berries and to vegetable food. By putting that on the ground, I was baiting them to walk towards them automatically so I could murder them.
Fair enough.
Revival magic requires spiders, which requires searching for spiders and finding spiders. If one does not find spiders in order to find materials, to find the stuff, to take care of them, to work together, to live long enough to do their job, person will die and die very quickly and very easily. If thing happens, people usually just leave server. If a person dies, says, where's base, where's base, where's base, gets killed in darkness, they will then start having a negative penalty to their survivability, because they'll be causing every person on the server to basically be getting a negative sanity aura, no matter where they are in the server, if they're in the same instance. So the cave is an instance, the constant is an instance. If we're standing in the forest and you're dead, we're all getting a negative sanity aura. If we revive you, negative sanity aura goes away. If we can't revive you, negative sanity aura continues to remain. If we continue to not be able to pick you back up before it is time, we will suffer the consequences over time, eventually going insane. Because we're supposed to survive together. Don't starve. You starved. So now we all pay the price for it. Type shit. Logically speaking, it makes perfect sense, but in most people's cases, logic is not people's first stanza when it comes to the game, actually.
I found Jimbo.
Hooray! Now let me find Jimbo so I can know what we're working with. We're actually ahead of schedule. I'm assuming it's further down the stone brick road. I see you, so it must be. Hello, Jimbo. Okay. So, we've got a bee field here. And we've got plenty of... Oh, is this Frog Hill? Yes, this is Frog Hill. Okay, we know where base is. We're going to need to build this a little bit away from Frog Hill. 5 guesses why we call it Frog Hill. For the same reason I told you what we call the other area... Yes. The same reason we call the other area Bee Hill. So we're going to make a base... Oh, even better. A touchstone. So, what we're going to do is we're going to settle a base in between this road here. And we're going to be smart about how we do it. So, we want it to be a little bit over here.
Okay. I'll follow you. Because Lord knows, no clue what to do.
Okay, so to properly set up a base, assuming that you had geometric placements, which you technically do, but you don't, but you do. Here's what you do. What you do is you need to prototype some basic things. Don't build anything. And by build, I mean place anything. Also, give me your wood.
There's also all the stone.
Okay. So.
I don't know if we need it or not.
Yes, we do. So. Yeah, that's a lot of stone. So. What you do is you build chests. Don't just drop it anywhere. Hold on for a second.
Okay.
So what you do is you build chests. Assuming that you had geometric placements, you go the farthest you can until you place it into another section aligned to your alchemy engine. And you want to try to separate these things so that you know what they are when you look at them. For that purpose, most of us use skins. You learn these skins over time. One side is your magic side, one side is your basic customization side. Because we have access to tools, and we also have access to gears, because we killed something, we also need to make a kitchen. And to do that, I need you to move from where you currently are standing.
Okay.
Then, to make a kitchen, there is a tool called a pickaxe. Before we make the pickaxe, we need to make a fire pit so we don't get killed in the darkness. You make the fire pit directly next to the engine, because this kind of distance is not going to let it burn. Fuel this with charcoal. It's now burning hot. Things won't burn as long as they're next to a naturally protected fire. This is a protected fire. If it was a campfire, it'd be an unprotected fire. So,
Okay.
drop this battle spear. You get a tool called the pitchfork. There's gold versions which last longer, but for this you don't need it. And on the other side, 1 block away, you make a kitchen by digging out a 4x4 or 3x3 square. For our purposes, we're going to use a 4x3. All this ground is terrain. This terrain serves us no fucking purpose other than to be burned or to use it to decorate the floor. It used to be worth a higher fuel value, but now it's only worth 1 fuel. Well, actually, no. It's worth 4 fuel. That goes next to the fire to be...
What
That
type
goes...
of 4 fuel is that?
The fuel that you put in a fireplace. Instead of burning natural logs, wood, and any other resources like charcoal through a season, you burn the turf terrain of the places you're terraforming. Do you have that marble?
Yeah, here.
So these marble pieces, you normally can turn into seeds. I believe we have that mod on, do we? We do. So, we can turn these into marble beans, and then we can plant these right over here. And they will grow like trees, but they have to be cut down with pickaxes. And then eventually we'll use that to decorate the floor of this area. But anyways, when you create a kitchen, you want to start with a Victorian icebox. And the reason why is because the icebox is the refrigerator. No refrigerator equals gonna have a bad time. From 3x3, you want to find the dead center of the square and place it there. And then there are different ways to do this. The way I'm about to show you how to do this is a lazy man's way. And I'm going to teach you how to make what we call a 4-way. 4-way means 4-way kitchen. Attaway. So, you build one here. You build one here. And what I'm basically doing is I'm going one tile away from the crockpot. Then, assuming we would like to be lazy and just work in cardinal directions, you flip your camera and do the same thing. And this is a 4-way.
I see.
There's a way to do a fancy setup that's called a 6-way, but 6-way requires you to be able to eyeball. And then you take all your fucking food items and you stick them in the chest. This way they will start rotting over less time. That was the reason why we needed all that charcoal. It requires charcoal.
Okay.
And we can also now start cooking food materials. Some of which I am going to start segmenting out myself because we're about to get attacked by hounds. And you need weapons and tools. Give me your gold. Pick up this hat. Pick up this hat. These spears are battle spears. They are basically better than the spears that you could naturally make. When it comes to fighting dogs, hounds, rather, you need to kite them. They have an attack frequency. I don't know if it appears for you the way it does for me, but there will be a circle that will appear on the ground that highlights their attack range. You want to let them swing at you, and then kite away from them as their attack is processing, and then keep swinging on them during the downtime. If you're starving, take that. These waves start out fairly safely. Then they get dangerous. A good way to master how to do it is that every time a dog attacks you, there's a chance that it'll start doing a barking phase. If it starts barking at you, it basically means that's a free hit. And then rinse and repeat until dead. And yes, melee combat might feel awkward at first, especially if you were using the click function, but now that you're not clicking on them and you're using the F key and Control F to force attack, you're going to have a much easier time. Now,
Control F, okay.
when it comes to these bees are normal bees, honey bees. The red bees will come out of their hive if you're nearby the home hive they come from, and they'll try to attack back. I'm currently killing these so that we can get the stingers to make the tool for you. But in order to make the actual recovery object that you require, I require rot. Niter and rot, to be specific. Rot only is required when food expires and something goes rancid. So we have to basically collect something that we can have in large quantities that will go bad. And the only thing that's going to go bad in the next few seconds is this spoiled monster meat. But this is basically meat resource we actually need to use for food. So I'm going to try to cook off some of it before it goes bad. Do you have berries?
No.
Okay, I can use carrots.
They're all in the thing.
One of
The
you
Xbox.
one of you is insane. You're insane.
Hey.
This is a nightmare creature. It is called a crawling horror. Last hit it. When you last hit it, it will give you 15 sanity for a crawling horror and 20 sanity for a terror beak. That is how you sustain your insanity while you're dealing with shit. Otherwise, the only other way for you to deal with it would be for you to get really, really, really fucking lucky. Unfortunately, you don't always have the chance of getting lucky. Also, this is basically our kitchen. The unfortunate thing about the kitchen is that a lot of this food is going to end up going towards me because I am a carnivore. Wigfrid cannot eat vegetables, but she can eat something that was made with meat appliances. So, one of the recipes that we can end up working off of right now is meatballs. Because she is a class that benefits from combat stats and combat equipment. That's why I chose this zone next to the frogs. It's because we can get a lot of mileage out of their meat. Because I can basically infinitely sustain my survivability off of them. The one thing we cannot sustain right now, though, is the gold that it's going to take to make these rocks and these objects. I'm on my way to go get one of the things to go do that. Because it's about to turn into night, and I need to get shovel and razor. So, this side is our storage material. We obviously have a bunch of shit. We're putting away as much necessary resources it takes to be relevant. The reason why is because you want to have enough food to keep people alive, but you don't want people to excessively burn through their resources to do it. That means we need to make more chests to put said resource away, so that we can actually resource manage.
Okay.
So from here, I just build more trunks. I ran out of wood. You have wood on you?
No. I just need to make a new pickaxe, or not axe. Pickaxe axe.
Okay. Now we have more wood. So, it takes
Alright.
3 boards to make a chest, which means you need to use enough of them to produce them. More. More. There you go. The strength of the fire is equal to the amount of fuel that it has. These here, these here, these there, these there, these there. Okay. So, you need to create a board by using 4 wood. When the Blood Wolf gets more in his tree, he'll have the ability of using Lucy the Axe in order to carve wood boards for 1 less wood. So right now, I have this. I place this chest next to this chest. And now, I clean up the resources of these materials. So I separate the materials that came from natural resources from the materials that came from dropped enemy resources. So I take the wood, and I take the stone, and I separate it and the charcoal from the droppables that came from monsters. Oh good, you can already do that. Good, I'm going to leave the wood management to you. And with that, we now have space to put those basic supplies so that it's not fully stocked up and clogged. Because unfortunately, in order to make those tools that I just made for you and those weapons I just made for you, I need to have rocks. It is always a good idea to always carry half of a stack of a material before you go exploring. Otherwise, you will be very sad. Basic resources, basic tools. A basic shovel, a basic axe, a basic pickaxe, something to give yourself defense, and a weapon to fight with. I happen to have enough defenses for myself, so I am going to go and find the thing that I was going to go look for, and while I do that, you guys can manage to explore and find what other shit we can find. while I continue to cook off the rest of this meat before it goes bad.
Alright.
Because when this meat rots, we can then use that rot to make your boosters. But we're only going to be able to have enough rot to make one booster. We'll need to find more. One of the consequences of this fucking material, but fortunately it is pretty easy to get away with covering.
Yeah, I'm not gonna deal with anything when it comes to Jimbo. Oh god, I just realized it's a hound. Okay.
One of the consequences of failing Jumbo is that he can attempt to kill you. It is very rare to use Jimbo before you feel ready to defend yourself, because even though the outcomes can be good, sometimes they're not worth it. So, if you've never played Balatro, you're going to have a hard time using Jimbo.
Yeah, I've never played Blatro.
It is a truncated version. The rules are technically the same, but it is not anywhere near the level of customization. There are survivor-based jokers that exist, but some are better than others. And if you ever feel like you're getting overwhelmed by these frogs, traps. Grass and sticks. Place the trap on the ground, bait them into the trap will trap them. It acts as a form of capture / elimination. Because when you pick the trap back up, you'll pick up frog legs, or whatever trappable creature can be trapped in the object. If it's a rabbit, you'll be able to pull back the whole rabbit. If it's a spider, you'll pull back the whole spider. If it's a frog, it should always default to frog's legs. Otherwise, I'm not sure about that one. And while you're walking around, kill butterflies.
Okay. More seeds.
I'm going to do a 3-1 ratio. That means for every 3 per food I produce, I'm going to produce a food that the 2 of you can exclusively eat. Because my carnivore recipe is going to be very annoying to deal with. I built the kitchen in such a way that we can expand it, but I need more twigs before we can expand it. So basically, imagine over here, there's going to be a row of drying racks. Right here, on the edge. Because the kitchen's not quite done. However, this object here is a Froggle Bunwich. This is 37.5 hunger, 5 sanity, and 20 health. It is what we call a health food. And that on that crock pot is a butter muffin. It is basically a vegetarian version of the food I just crafted.
Okay.
When you use craft pot, when you put objects onto the crock pot, it's going to populate the recipes like a crafting recipe. So, if you put the butterfly there, it's going to show you whether or not the items you put into it will work. For a basic butterfly recipe, you need 1 vegetable, 1 butterfly wing, and 2 filler. Filler can be anything, but the basic filler would be sticks and berries. Technically, it can be anything that counts as filler, because butterfly wings themselves can count as filler. But in terms of survival, you're trying to conserve your resources, so you'll try to use something that you have a lot of on hand, like berries, as we happen to be nearby a zone that has a lot of berries. I assume you got DC'd.
Yeah, Blood Wolf did.
Oh, good. There's an even closer pack of buffalo. I don't even have to walk that far.
That's good.
It's very good. It was literally going to be several different zones over in the other direction. So now we have access to manure. This will be important in a couple of seconds. Assuming that...
I can already tell. Oh. I can already tell what manure is used for.
Okay.
Like, I know basic, like, just life things. One would assume it's for, you know, making crops grow and stuff.
Yes. See, you're picking up fast.
Well, I mean, I, like, seen my brother play the first game. I don't know about Don't Starve Together, but I've seen my brother play the first game. Where's space? And I'm dead, I think. Yep, I think I'm dead. Oh, wait, I forgot. I have a torch. Oh, base is down.
The fire will go out, because that's just how fires work.
That's not what I mean. I didn't realize, like, what time, day was.
Does it not show the day-night sections for you?
No, I just wasn't paying attention.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's different.
Yes. The #1 player killer. Mental AFK.
Ooh, the world is full of whimsy and wonder. And then, when in reality... oh, okay. Oh, he's back. Okay. Unfortunately, I think I'm going insane a little bit more.
That's okay. There's a way to solve that.
Where is the
A good way to solve that is basically go and find items inside of your crafting list that you haven't yet prototyped. And prototype those. One apiece. If they have a gold, light bulb over them. Horn on first kill.
Okay.
I think one is enough. Tink, 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 tink. Tink, 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 tink. No horn in this one. Okay. I have returned with 27 beefalo wool. I have shaved half of a herd, as there's a broken herd separate in this area. And fortunately, they're far enough away from our base that they will not try to fuck us. So now we're on day 9. We ended up building our base 5 days ahead. So there's 12 days left in this autumn, which means we are ahead of schedule, which is good. We now have the materials to begin taming beefalo. So while we continue the task of eventually building the things we need to do a lot of shit, we now have access to a beefalo horn. This beefalo horn is going to be turned into a tier 1 warming item called a beefalo hat. I will eventually go hunt more beefalo. In fact, since you're going insane, I'm going to put these resources inside of the chest, and I'm going to let you craft it. You need 8 wool, and the horn. Stand next to the alchemy engine, go into the clothing tab, which is the shirt tab, and then you should see the highlighted beefalo hat. And then you craft it.
I did.
And now you can put it back, because you don't necessarily need it for now. And then you can do the same thing again, should you have not already created a net, but you'll need a rope, 2 silk, and 4 twigs to make. And any of the versions of gold tools, which require 4 sticks and 2 gold. And while you do that, I am going to capture bees. So, having access to honeybees means that we have access to bee boxes, which means we have access to honey, which we already technically had access to honey by killing them as a resource from killing the angry killer bees when the wasp comes out of the nest to protect the rest of the hide. But we don't have to care about that in that particular fashion, because yes, we'll find that over time, but it's more the bees, naturally, that we need to worry about. The only way to get a bee to come out of its hide during dusk and dawn is to set it on fire and then to let it burn, which is not what we want to do. So we can only hunt the bees during the day. Hunting them during the day will get us access to getting the bees themselves, because you need to have 4 bees plus 2 boards to make a gardening section and a hive for what is called a bee box.
Okay.
It'll be a way for us to basically farm the resource from them. At the same time,
Okay.
remember when I said we needed to wait till night and we also needed to find a zone that had fireflies?
Yeah.
That time is now.
Okay. Do I make the net?
You use the rope from your grass, and then you stand next to the alchemy engine, and you use it to make a thing. In fact, if you hold this open like this, you can leave the resources in the chest, and if you're standing where I'm standing like this, you'll actually have the ability to do it like that. Because it allows you to populate items from chests. The chest has to be open, and you can be standing next to the resource while you're doing it, but that's how you do that.
Oh, I guess I just don't have, like, sticks.
Well, we are inside of what is known as a bee biome, so there will be sticks here.
I just don't have enough.
Yeah, just walk to the south here where the sticks are, and there should be a bunch of them over there.
I see it.
And then, in the darkness, make sure you have a torch when you do this. In the darkness, the ground will have fireflies. You're going to find a firefly and make sure in your inventory space, in your main inventory, capture them in that inventory slot. So that way, the firefly will go into your inventory, your main inventory, and after it goes into your main inventory, you can then take that, the hat, and I think 2 pieces of gold, and turn that into your own miner hat. Because you're going to need a form of permanent light in order to go down into the caves. And I now have a beefalo. And he is mine, and he shall be named Mr. Meat. So, beefalo taming. To tame a beefalo, you need a beefalo bell. To make it a beefalo bell, you need gold and flint. When you tame a beefalo, it needs to be domesticated over time, where it will then become a permanent future version of itself. This is necessary and required because beefalo is one of the best ways to travel over ground before you even have access to one of the seasonal methods of travel, which is a method of travel known as cane walking. In the original game, obviously we did not ride on beefalo, so we had to instead get the cane. And as you know, should you remember from watching your brother play Don't Starve, the cane is only accessible in winter, like finding a McTusk camp. That is a very long time to wait. To be exact, it would be waiting into the middle of the rest of autumn, and then figuring out where they are and then hunting them down and killing them. That is a long amount of time to wait. I would prefer, instead of doing it this way. So...
I guess I didn't have a full enough to make it. I didn't...
Okay. That's okay.
I needed one more stick.
We will find you some sticks today.
I found one. That's good. Berries.
So, while I capture the rest of these bees. Blood Wolf, did you happen to go find any more wood?
There it is. Oh my god.
Be careful when you're attacking, when you have a tool in your hand, that you de-equip the tool, because it will attempt to use the tool, and it will suck.
Yeah.
There's one. Also, my beefalo is currently parked over here. The bell that is on the ground is the bell that it is owned by. Don't move it.
Okay, yeah. I read it.
Okay. So now, when you capture butterflies the same way that you captured the things, you can basically pick up those bees and those butterflies and then move them around. I'm going to have to break some of these hives in order to start repopulating them. So I'm going to start destroying the closest ones. I have to break the beehive safely and without using fire in order to retrieve the honeycomb inside of it.
Okay.
Then after you retrieve the honeycomb from a normal yellow beehive or red beehive, you bring it over to the thing, and under food and gardening, you then have the ability to populate the bee box. Then after populating the bee box, you want to be able to find a place where you can put the bee box far enough close to you that it's within the chunk, but far enough away from your base that it's not going to endanger you. And then around it, you plant flowers. Bees need the flowers in order to populate, obviously. To be exact to the science, a bee box needs at least several different instances of flowers to create honey in order to create food.
Okay.
So, as we move the boxes further and further south, they'll stop wandering closer and closer to us. Also, your rot's ready.
Talking about me?
Yes.
So do I walk over to the alchemy machine?
Yes.
What do I do?
You need stingers, you need the rot, and you need the niter, which is in the next chest over. 1 stinger, 2 niter, 8 rot. Makes 1 booster.
Okay, I see. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna put that in there, that in there.
Unfortunately, it looks like...
A bunch of speeds. What time is it? Okay.
Now day 10, it's going to be day 11 tomorrow. Fortunately, we have a spawner where these bushes are, so I have to move these bushes. I would wish that I wouldn't have to, because I don't want to have to refertilize them, but I'm not going to take chances when we're dealing with a spawner. So, when this thing says missing name, I'm pointing my cursor at a specific set piece. So over at this lake piece has what looks like twigs on the ground. Did you happen to notice it when you were nearby it?
With the oasis, right?
No,
sorry.
Pond. This pond. Over here.
Oh, that, yeah.
So, do you remember when you saw the twigs on the ground next to it?
Mm-hmm.
That object that the game calls a missing name, if I can get it to do it again. Apparently cannot. Yes, I can. That is a goose spawner. Moose Goose is a giant from the Reign of Giants. Reign of Giants is naturally populated into DST. So, in spring, that will become a spawner of Moose Goose, or rather Meese Geese. The mosslings that are going to hatch out of the egg that will be laid by the Moose Goose will appear in that position. Because what usually happens is that in a spawner, like I was talking about earlier when I said there's at least a few birch nut trees to mark the spot as well as those bushes would have their berries eaten by the mosslings. I don't want that to happen. That's our food. So I dug up the bushes, which I'm currently holding, and I'm also populating trees away from that zone so we don't have to walk near it anymore, so that we don't accidentally get ourselves killed. And in this zone, where we're also digging up these pine cones, we're going to make our own tree farm. Put your hat on. Wait, you don't have a hat.
No, because like I told you, I didn't have,
You have your V-net?
Yeah, I have that now. I just didn't have enough sticks for it.
There's a firefly.
I know.
You got it?
And, yeah.
Okay. Make sure you don't drop it. It does not drop as an item. It goes back on the ground. And yes, if you drop it during the daytime, it will disappear. If you have a couple more, find a few more. 4. Okay, one more. That should be good. Okay, day 11. Doing good. So far, so good. Try not to dig up flowers.
Structures, no. There it is. Clothing. Where is it? No, not fishing. What is it called? Mining hat?
Miner's hat. For that one, you should fight it in light sources.
Okay. What am I? Gold. Okay. There it is. Alright, we are gonna put that back.
Okay. But you're gonna need some more sticks. But that's okay. We're currently growing trees now.
Oh, I am hungry. I didn't even realize that.
Oh, we have plenty of resources. Go ahead and cook yourself something.
Yeah.
If you want
I'll
the
just
most,
use
if
those.
you want the most filling thing, that'd be a meatball. 1 meat item plus 3 filler. There's a bunch of different other recipes, but most of the ones that we can make right now are forms of healing food for different vegetarian, omnivore, and carnivorous diets. If you want to make something that is always going to be healing food, always add 1 piece of honey. It'll automatically churn it into an item that will have either honey nuggets or a type of omelet filler. We haven't gotten the items to do the omelet filler yet. And now, pigskin time. So, over at this touchstone here, this is an object that will allow a person to be able to revive themselves once from the touchstone. Surrounding a touchstone is going to be a form of a floor, and that is wood flooring. And around it are 4 totem heads of a creature known as a pig that has been beheaded. And that pig head can give up a resource known as pigskin. That pigskin, when it comes from that creature, is going to be used to make tier 2 combat and utility items. It is semi-important to be wise about how you use them. But when you have access to them, it gives you the ability to use one of the most powerful weapons in the game, known as the Pig Bat. It also gives you access to another form of tier defense in the game, known as the football helmet. But I make objects that are basically the foot helmet, but better, so you don't have to use them. To use the object, you need to have access to meat, pigskin, and I think for the weapon, yeah, pigskin and sticks. 2 sticks this time. You use 2 large meat. Large meat because it's a larger chunk of meat than the small meat that you'll see us pick up in the future. That's called a morsel. You take 2 large meat, you take the 2 sticks, and you go over to that object, and you basically combine them. And it makes an object that will be fresh. So its durability is connected to its freshness timer. If the freshness timer is maximum, like it is right now, as this handbat will go stale in 38 minutes and 57 seconds and counting, the damage in my hand, because my character has a damage multiplier, is 73.9 damage. If it was in your hand, it would be more like 52, 53, 55 damage, which is basically almost near double what the spear can do at this current moment in time. So your spear would be something... The spear that I gave you, rather, is going to do something more like 51-ish damage, 48-ish damage, because of the fact that we were using it to attack the things that we were attacking. However, in my hands, I do closer to the tower of damage of a tentacle spike.
Mm-hmm.
That is because the Battle Spear is a version that requires gold to make, that only is Wigfrid exclusive. Same thing with a weapon that she can make once she has Beefalo Wool and a form of Volt Horn, which I'm going to go to the desert to go find for myself, because I need to build that weapon. Compared to the helmets, that also she can be able to only make herself, as well as another item that she can make called the Commander's Helm, which actually does require marble. This and the Battle Helms are a form of upgraded materials and weapons that are meant to be Wigfrid exclusive, that for one of them are her own combat weapons, and then for everybody else is a upgraded form of combat weapon that they can use through her to immediately access combat power. It is a full moon. He turned into a werebeaver. Because of that, the purpose of the object is to give us combat power and trade for something, like most of the upside downsides. In this case, we get access to immediately stronger combat tools in trade for being potentially weaker because we're burning through gold and rocks to do it. So you need to have a resource of the food and material before you do it. You know, have enough so that you don't burn through everything else you already own. Type shit. Since we already have that, we're not at a risk of that being a thing, but it is something that can happen. For everything else, we are going to now build a lightning rod for our zone. Lightning rod is a structure that you make so that you don't get fucking killed by lightning. Mainly, it's to stop your base from getting basically destroyed by something in the zone killing your objects. So
I found Chester.
Good job. Bring it back with you.
I am.
So, I'm currently putting down a lightning rod that is going to protect the area around our base from lightning strikes. And now, when we get access to another piece of material, we need to make an isolymatic for our base. We will also be able to make one for our bees. And then we need to duplicate the pig skin in order to make a stupid fucking pig house. Pig houses, plural. We'll have to start out with one.
I found a like stage with the clockwork knight stuff.
The one that we bypassed earlier?
No, it's like an actual like stage. Like it's not like a
When you
monument with a grave.
When you hover over it, does it say stage and can you perform on it?
Yeah.
Yes, that is the stage.
Yeah, I know. I didn't come across it yet.
That is technically something that can be used to create resources and materials at random. It is also a story-based component of the lore of the game. But you have to do specific things in order to interact with said lore.
Okay.
If you go on the stage and you perform a soliloquy, you will get access to items that will be produced by the stage, but you'll also be attacked by dire wolves. Dire wolves should have like 10 health, which means as long as you have a good weapon in your hand, you can immediately kill them very easily. And whatever it dropped as a kit is equipment that you can take with you to use.
Okay.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, pig house. I hate pig houses. They cost so much resource, but we need them. Other than going out and finding other pigs in their territory, the best way for us to make pig skin is to produce pig houses ourselves. Produce a pig house. Since apparently we can create pig skin. What? That's wild. Where the fuck? How the fuck does one make pig skin out of wool? What the fuck? That has to be some kind of rare special material. Anyways, you make a pig house, you're going to need 4 pig skin and 4 boards and 3 marble. I don't know why they're off-brand materials that are oddly specific in that order, but that's what you need in that order.
Gotcha.
Usually, people make pig houses by going out and finding already established pig houses and bashing them down for the materials. They can use the immediate wood as a way to, instead of making their own boards, get stone and boards off of big houses to rush trees. It is a rushing strat. Most of the time, people rushing are trying to do something that is very advanced, and it's not something that many people teach people to do, because if you ever go onto a public server, people are going to do this thing called ruins rushing. They're going to try and immediately run to the greatest and best, most valuable loot that they can find, and they're going to hoard it to themselves. Is basically what happens. Because they're rushing to the ruins to go to pseudoscience. And instead of actually bringing people along with them, they're hoarding it to themselves. So they don't have to share. It's a very big move.
Yeah, it's a dick move, but I mean, and I wouldn't say it makes sense, but I mean, like,
Well, if you look...
I just play single player, if that's what you're gonna do.
There's logic behind it, but the reasons they're doing it does not adhere to logic. If one was going to rush the ruins, they would be doing so they can work together with everyone else, because somebody has the ability to get some early magic for the purposes of doing one of the time-based RNG puzzles that you have to know how to do in order to do. But the reason they're actually rushing it is that they want the material for themselves and they don't want to share. So if they are in a room full of noobs, and the noobs don't know how to ruins rush, they basically get prime experience all for themselves. It is very gay.
Oh, speaking of very gay and lame. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, the hounds are here.
Ounce. I didn't realize.
That's what the barking was.
Ow. Chester! Ow!
Chester has a lot of health. He'll be fine. As long as he's not getting killed by 10 of them at once.
There's like 3 of them on him.
Yeah, he'll live. He'll live longer.
Okay.
He'll live longer than you.
Yeah. Ow. I'm not great at this game.
Oh no, they got Blood Wolf.
Okay. You can probably use that. Like.
Yes, he can use the
Death Space
touchstone.
thing.
He can use the touchstone. He only have the ability to use it once because it does not reset. But he can use it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like an emergency. Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh wait, I know where a touchstone
Right
is.
here.
Type of heal.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Here, yeah. I'm coming over to help you with light. You want to go grab your stuff? I can. Oh, I'm hungry again.
That twinkling is the sound of dark hands coming to steal a fire. What you do to discover them is that you either chase them out until they completely disappear, or you find the source of where the hand is and you illuminate the base of the hand with light, which will make it instantly disappear. Once they get forcibly made to disappear, they will no longer appear again for that night. Very handy-dandy resource. Forcibly handy-dandy. So to keep yourself the most fed, as you have discovered, it is best to use your cooked monster meat with 3 berries and or 3 carrots. It will give you more hunger than if you were to use other materials. And because we still have access to butterflies, which I desperately would say that you should be collecting, when we eventually get up this farm, we will have even more to work with and work off. Basically want to eat a berry a day, or a meatball a day. You will become a meatball addict, and that has more to do with something called rotating your recipes, but we're not there yet.
Okay.
So, now that I have the thing I was going for, I need another one. One more pig house. now I prototype the rustic cavern, and we place that cavern over here, inside the range of the pig house, to be protected by the lightning tree, but close enough away from the kitchen that we can have access to them for ulterior purposes. And now to start making the drying racks. So to make drying racks, you need to have sticks, you need to have grass to make rope, 3 rope to be specific, and then 2 charcoal. It's a cheaper recipe than the recipe that is used to make the, whatchamacallit. But
I'm still listening.
with these sticks, I am currently filling out the space I told you I would put them with these drying racks. Now, an update and a buff that they actually did from the second to last update for the penultimate storyline for the lunar side was that they wanted to actually make some of these recipes to be better. So what they ended up doing is that usually, and what they used to be, our pig was raped by the frogs. What they used to be is that the drying racks used to only do 1 meat at a time, which was very gay. You had to put it into its own internal window, and then in that window, it turned that 1 meat into 1 jerky. Now it does 3 meats and 3 jerkies. And I'm about to go exploit those animals right after I get more sticks. Because since we have access to Frog Hell, and now we have access to more wood, as we begin continuing to get access to more bees, because we have 8 days left in autumn, we now want to start focusing on renewable materials.
Ow! Die!
What is killing you?
These frogs!
Yeah, traps. You want traps.
Oh, Chester has one.
You're gonna get a lot of traps. Like a food amount of traps. Also need to get access to the magic.
I'm gonna go back to grabbing all my shit.
Okay. Because yes, when they lick a tongue you, they're going to steal stuff from you.
Yeah. They don't do a lot of damage, but...
No, it's only 10 damage. Unprotected physical damage. There's 2 types of damage. There's physical damage, and then there's lunar damage. Or planar damage, excuse me. I think I explained this before to you. But, in the case that I didn't, unprotected damage functions the same way it does in a card game. The damage goes to your health pool, the mitigated damage gets ignored. If you mitigate the damage by wearing armor, at least a single piece of armor, you will reduce the damage that you are taking by the highest defensive amount. If you are wearing 2 pieces of defense, it will reduce it, and then reduce the durability across the items in question that you are reducing. And so on and so on and so on and so on and so on. So, if you were wearing a battle helmet and a log suit, which both do 80 physical protection, it would protect you for 80, but it would take durability of them across both, rather than taking more durability from 1 piece. Does this make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Combined with agnostic defense styles, because it is possible to get defense items on things that are not normally considered defensive, like, say, getting a defensive hand weapon. That'll come later. And yes, that's from the Terraria content. It is possible to have a defensive equipment that will protect your health pool in a way that most people would not expect it to, and make it sustainable. Log suits, for example, as well as leather football helmets, are sustainable, but to sustain them, you first need to actually sustain the material in question, which in this question is pigs. To sustain pigs, we need to transform those pigs into were-pigs, and then continue stacking their singular piece of pig meat their pigskin and turn the pigskin into another pig by turning it into another pig house. Then by turning them into a pig house, we will continue to sustain the efforts of making the pigs into more food, and then eventually into more stuff. Because unfortunately, that is what they're good for. That is all they're good for. We will have a workforce that is better than them because we have a Woody. Because Woody exists, we will actually have better workforce staff than the pigs. It's all relative at the end of the day. Because we have a spider den that will eventually become a big nest. We also have a wormhole near this position. So I chose us a good basing position based on this. It is good for lots of reasons. It has natural vegetarian resources in the form of the butterflies and the honey. Because we have a lot of honey here, it also gives us resource to healing. Because healing food is a lot more accessible than basic healing poultice. It also gives us access to other methods of sustaining our resources that does not require us to lose our minds, because some of them are fucking annoying to deal with. Basically, it allows us to do a lot without having to do a little. Basically, by having this wood now, we now have the ability to explosively grow our supply, because that means we can now make chests that are dedicated to the storage of those materials, which is what I'm already doing.
Okay.
It also means that because of the start that we had a safe start, which meant we were now able to start working on more difficult stuff. So now we separate the wood material from the stone material. Yes?
Oh, I was probably gonna get off and just kind of stretch myself from Discord
Okay.
for a bit. It was fun playing. Actually, here is Chester, though, so if you ever need him. Yeah. Also, for some reason, here's the deck that I found. There, so, yep.
Did one of you happen to
That was
play
fun.
Jimbo?
I guess I did a little bit, but there's just a bunch of cards laying around him.
Yes, he spawns with cards. You can collect the entire deck of cards.
I did it like twice. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, I'll be honest.
Most people didn't. Most people didn't. You learn over time.
I'll probably watch a video on how to understand it, make it easier.
Okay.
Because like I said, I didn't even play, what's it called? Balatro. And honestly, nor do I want to. But, I'll see you guys later.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Speaking of time, it's 8:22. I'm gonna go serve my mother dinner in a second. And I'll have to pause the server when I do, Master Wolf, just to let you know. So now, after we do this, now we need to take this seed. And we need to get more nets. First, we're gonna make a line of nets. Somehow you guys keep getting attacked. Then I'm gonna go take this net. Do I have the basic tool on my bar? I do not. Seven days left. We're going to take this net. Nets plural. Got you. And we're going to go capture us another bee. Wow, that decayed to 63.2 very quick. Destroy the hive. Wait for the bees. Put the bee box here. And continue to cycle of food. And now I'm going to plant the place we're going to put our bushes. I always hate setting up these sticks. That's kind of poorly spaced, but it's fine. Now those need to be fertilized. Select a couple more of these. Put these in the chest. This here. This there. There's the grass. Grass is over here. Take the hat. Prototype of the hat. One firefly. And one gold. Which I somehow did not place on myself. Here, you can have my hat. So now you have a hat. plant the rest of the bushes. And now we have a line of berry bushes that need to be fertilized. And that's good because we actually already have manure. And also already have rot, but rot is going to be used for two separate things here. Take manure, grab some logs, go over food and gardening. We're going to need some bones. But fortunately you guys have been dying, so I just need to find those skeletons where you died. And that's a blood wolf skeleton. And bash these down. And bones. Now we need butterflies in order to make more flowers. While we're collecting that, we collect the last set of bees. And we find one of the standing hives, and we break it. Bring this over here. Store this. Do this. Don't have a place for these flowers. The flowers will turn into rot. And I go over here and we take a bucket of poop. And now we have a bucket of poop. I ran out of wood. Come back and get some wood. And they're all ready. 4 bee boxes will be enough honey for the 2 of us. Technically 3 of us. Technically 6 people, but Lord knows 6 people are not going to play. That's a pipe dream. Bones go here, this goes here, that goes there. Stack this over with the stone. And we are now good on that. Marble on the helmet. Commander's helmet. Green commander, golden commander. Winterproofness 60. Slightly more HP than a normal hat. put this in the stone supply. Collect this, access this, and then we take our bucket of poop. And we fertilize berries. Now we have 10 berries fertilized. I move my default position. That's not far enough. That's far enough. You need to move it in a position so that when it becomes ornery, it doesn't start kicking the shit out of us. Because it will. 6 days to winter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause at the top of this next morning so that I can go do my tasks, and then we'll come back and we will go as long as you feel able to, okay? Okay. Hound attack in 3 days with another sinkhole on the side. This is where I'm going to pause, and I will be right back in about 5 to 10 minutes. And pause. Okay, I am back. Unpause. Gooey. Okay, day 16, dive to the left. Fertilized berry patches. Need to fertilize the rest of them. Copy Lacey Fingers. It is now time to make an additional crockpot engine. I'm going to use an alternate skin. A little bit too close. That's a very ugly six-way, but that's a six-way. Ow. So you found guano. Okay, those trees will grow up soon. What was I doing? I built these, I built these, I built these. The other thing. Tool bag. Lighting materials. Manure resources. That's what I was doing. Manure resources. So, harvesting the honey first. Go. Additional honey in the box. And now we need light bulbs. So now we need to have alternate hand light. In order to have alternate hand light, one must go to the caves. Well, it'll get disconnected, connected to this instance. Wow, Buster was here. I feel bad because I didn't say hello to Buster. Hello, Avalon. It's a rock, but isn't an island. Only in the island isn't an island. Any other time, it's not. It's a pain in my brr. Fortunately, I have ones that are right here. Didn't have to go far to find them. There's always its own small reward. Lantern. I'm going to make another one and set it in front of here so that you can find it. Make another and make a log suit in case I need body armor. And more butterflies. fly. And the bees are ready. Where's the closest place I could find a skeleton? Very far, apparently. Yep, very far. Fortunately, the oasis is right there, so I need to get started on making the thing. It's been 9 already. Yes. Okay. We're not that far away from winter. Unfortunately, this is not a chance to get a pigman. But he did drop his skin. We don't have enough stone, though. Decent. Use a snapshot of everything. Okay. Since he's gone, we're gonna stop here. Itchy. Day 17, we won't have to reset the next time we choose to play. Should be simple enough. It is not that far away for the postern, so players can be onboarded. Okay, this is good. Alright. It is 9:01. I should make myself eat dinner before I lose my sanity. Alright, everyone. That is on the stream side. Thank you for joining us again. We will see you next week / tomorrow. As I have appointments tomorrow. Or, excuse me, not tomorrow, Tuesday. I have appointments Tuesday. So, content may be sparse, but I will have something planned. Because I've done enough research on this consortium that I should be able to make a thing for it. Well, goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.